Hey everybody, it's Sea-Dog here to discuss the Jackets. First video since the freaking Georgia game, which was obviously a disaster, and we lost to Georgia, of course. Freaking ridiculous. Offense was nowhere to be found, which is the opposite of what is normally the case. Up until that game, it was the defense that was a problem. Well, they swept freaking rolls. So I wanted to talk not as much about the Georgia game, but just about the Jackets' collapse in general, because it all goes hand in hand at the end of this season. I'm going to try to make this video as least satisfying for the Georgia fan as possible, because you don't deserve it. You guys are the worst fan base in the entire planet, just bar none, the worst people. I finally stopped getting comments on that about the freaking game. Well, I did bring it on myself, I will say that, but it doesn't mean that I still freaking don't hate you guys. If you're a Georgia fan, up yours, okay? They're gonna, and just because they won the game doesn't mean they're not the dumbest people on the internet either. They try to say all kind of stuff like Reg Talk, my buddy Reg Talk was saying. They'll win a game and make excuses. Obviously, they're only beating us 16-9 is head scratching and eyebrow raising for a supposed playoff team, which was the case last year too. And look what happened as soon as they got in the playoffs. Here's the deal. You ought to be ashamed, dude. The Georgia fans are so dumb. Here's what they're doing. I've seen a few things. All of them just completely ridiculous and stupid. The stupidest fans in the freaking world, dude. I've seen them try to claim that they broke Haynes King or ruined Haynes King. Look, I can't take credit for that. Pitt takes credit for that because ever since the 100-yard pick six last week, Haynes King was not the freaking same. That mentally broke Haynes King. He was not the same since that. So, no, it wasn't anything Georgia did. Haynes King just, I don't know. Was the lights too bright? I don't know. I freaking hate it. He's going to be remembered, Haynes King has delivered some of the best wins to Georgia Tech in the past few years. He had become my favorite quarterback, Georgia Tech quarterback that I've seen in my lifetime. And I'll never forget some of the wins that, he gave. And he was extremely clutch right up until the end. And unfortunately, that's what he's going to be remembered for. Choking away the ACC championship and never beating Georgia. And that's all anybody's going to bring up when talking about Haynes King. It's unfortunate. It really is. Because he had some amazing wins. Obviously, he did other great things. Like, obviously he brought us out of an era where we were just absolutely terrible. So he led us out of that area to our first bowl game in however many years, and a win over against the top four undefeated Miami team at home. Several field rushings with Haynes King as a quarterback. And, I'll never forget that. But at the end, that's set in stone now. At the end, he just couldn't do it. He couldn't deliver us to where we want to go. And it's a freaking disappointment. You go 8-0 and just shit the bed. And wind up 9-3 is terrible. And it could have been 8-4. Boston College, good Lord. If it was any other team other than Boston College, yeah, we would have been 8-4. I don't know what the hell happened, dude. Completely, once the clock struck November, the Jackets just collapsed. Epic collapse in the month of November by the Jackets. Everything we had in front of us, gone. Now we got to watch Duke a team that we beat and we have the same conference record as go to the ACC title game, which is an extremely flawed system. I've spent a lot of time this season studying the ACC tiebreaker system. It is a very flawed system, but that's its own video. And we got to sit at home and watch them. Not that we were the most deserving team. We were definitely more deserving than Duke, but so was all the other 2-loss teams. Pitt and Miami were more deserving than Georgia Tech. And anyway, I'll talk about the ACC title game probably in another video. It's just, and it's extremely head-scratching about obviously you start this collapse by the defense just no-showing in the NC State game. Same thing in the Boston College game. Same thing in the Pitt game. I mean, god dang, we went down 28-0. Well, the thing is, the offense and the defense were bad in the Pitt game. Both of them got better, though, during the Pitt game. Like, they didn't give up, which you'd rather see your team, not give up and try to come back than, just lie down and get blown out. And then, obviously, so the result against Pitt was what it was. But then you have, this thing against Georgia, and it's like, look, it is what it is now, and people laugh at me for saying this, but, like, the Georgia game is a throw the records out the window type of game nowadays. And we're going to get these freaking bastards one of these years. And I swear, every one of you better disappear. You better disappear. I'm going to find you. I'm going to run you off the internet myself. God, you better hope that Georgia Tech never beats Georgia. You will never hear the end of it from me. You people are the worst. God, I hate Georgia so much. Oh, my God. And really, you ought to be ashamed of your freaking performance against Georgia Tech, because 16 points on our defense, NC State, Pitt, and Boston College. Boston College might be the worst team in the country. They scored over double what you were able to put up on the Tech defense. How does that make any sense? Another stupid thing I've heard Georgia fans say. Oh, this was part of the game plan. Yeah, it was part of the game plan for you to go in, score 16 points. If you would have told anybody that Georgia scored 16 points against Georgia Tech, anybody would have guessed that we would have blown you out, right? I mean, 16 points. And, yeah, I'm sure that's part of your game plan, too. And to go ahead and put the last nail in the coffin for your fringe Heisman candidate there. Another stupid thing that Georgia fans like to freaking talk about is Gunnar Stockton for the Heisman over Haynes King. Okay. Now, both these quarterbacks have clearly played themselves out of the Heisman. But Gunnar Stockton, 2 interceptions against our defense. I can't remember the last time we had an interception. And Gunnar Stockton threw 2 of them. So, I mean, 1 or 2. I can't remember. But, yeah, I'm sure that it was part of the game plan to damn ruin your Heisman chances. He won't get invited to New York. Neither of the quarterbacks will. But at least Gunnar Stockton was still in the running. Not no more. Not no more. It's not going to be him anymore. So Georgia fans can let that one go. None of them want to talk about those things. And look, it was surprising that we only, we didn't score a touchdown. We didn't get into the end zone. It is what it is. Haynes King fell off in the end, I guess. You're not going to be able to take credit for that, though, because the week before at Pitt, it clearly was the case. So, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You got the most broken version of Georgia Tech this year. You're lucky you play us at the end of the year. When we inexplicably collapse and choke and piss away our entire season. To be successful and good in college football, you have to get better as the year goes along, and maybe this team just wasn't ready for that yet. Maybe this program wasn't. We are year 3 of a rebuild, so you the team starts going crazy. They go 8-0. You raise your expectations. Well, we got humbled a little bit as for why the collapse happened. Were we frauds all along? I don't think so. I think we were playing a lot better earlier in the year and more inspired football, at least. I've seen what I was seeing on the defensive side of the ball, at least in the 3 ACC games we played in November, was an effort issue. Yes, we were out of position and stuff, but we were there at the tackle. We were there to make the tackle at or behind the line of scrimmage, and they would just fall forward for, 5, 6, 7 yards. Like, that's an effort thing, man. You can't tell me that you meet the guy. You make the damn tackle. And I saw that the defense could do that in 8 other games that year. And inexplicably in the month of November, they stopped doing it. So, who knows? Maybe it was a behind-the-scenes thing. Brent Key got an extension today. Maybe some of the rumors flying about him around other jobs were causing problems in the locker room. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Of course, he got an extension today. I need to make a video about that too. I got some content coming up, guys. I'm sorry. Look, I got a 2-week-old baby I've been taking care of, and also fleas in my house I've been freaking trying to get rid of. They're a complete nightmare to get rid of. So, but I thought I'd come on and talk about Georgia Tech pissing away their season at the end of the year. Freaking sucks. It sucks. But look, we won't stop, will we? No. End of chapter 1 of the Brent Key era, and there was more good than bad, and there's a lot of promise for the future. We got him an extension, and we'll freaking take a look at who we got coming in next year when Philo season, right? See if we can retain some players, retain some staff, and bring in some new ones, and Sea-Dog will be here to cover the bowl game, of course. Season's not over. We're going to get a bowl game. Hopefully we get a higher tier bowl game since we're, top 25, whatever. We should get a better bowl than the damn Birmingham Bowl like we did last year. Maybe a rematch against Vandy. I don't know. But Sea-Dog will be here to cover all of that with you guys and talk about it. And the Jackets, we'll keep going. And we'll be there. We'll get there one day. Hang tight, guys. I know that we were so close this year. But it'll get better. Trust me. And I'll be here when it does. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Go Jackets. I'll see y'all next time.